everybody. Welcome once again to Security Live here at AWS reInvent.
Where are you, Brian?
Where am I? Who am I?
What's going on?
AWS
What's happening
reInvent 2024. We are so excited to be here. We are here with IBM. My name is Brian Mendenhall. I am the worldwide head of Security and Identity Partner Specialist Organization, AWS Awesome Team Extravaganza.
Wow, it keeps going.
It just keeps going. I'm here with my favorite host, Ryan Orsi.
Hi, everybody. Ryan Orsi, one of your co-hosts. Pleasure to be with you. I run the team of Security, Identity, and Cloud Operations Partner Specialists for AWS. Just means I get to have a lot of fun. It's a lot of cool companies, such as IBM.
Thank you so much.
Welcome for joining.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Glad you could make it, sir.
Awesome.
Maybe for those that aren't familiar with yourself, I think they know who IBM is, but yourself, your role, and we'd love to hear more from you.
Sure. So I'm Jayesh Kamath. I am a cybersecurity services product manager, and I focus on what we call as the Cyber Defend portfolio, which is all about protection of data, cloud, AI, network, and so on and so forth. So we focus on the protection technologies, so to speak.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us. Before we jump in, just a little bit of housekeeping, as well as a very exciting announcement here.
Current event.
Exceptionally current.
Like,
I was told just before I walked on stage. AWS has launched a new category within the security competency, specifically for partners that are able to secure generative AI environments.
Right.
And with the launch of that new category within the program, IBM was one of our launch partners. Thank you so much for helping us to build and launch that program.
It's an honor. Yeah,
awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
Thank you. One last piece of housekeeping before we jump into what we're going to talk about is the tabloons. Absolutely. So if you say an acronym, a TLA, if you will, which is a three-letter acronym.
Wait.
Of course. This is a safe place. If you say an acronym without defining it, and if you give a business type of synergistic language.
You usually look at the camera and you go, synergy.
Synergy. Wait, can I get the tight shot? No, not this time. Synergy. Okay. If you say synergy, synergy. If you say synergy or anything like that, one goes in the coffer. So
that's our tip jar. Pure gold, 24 karat.
Those are the rules. Thank you for being here. Yeah.
What happens?
We get all the money.
We take that and we go straight to the casino.
Okay, let me start then. ASC.
Oh, there we go. Right in the jar.
You better go. You put it in there, sir.
All right, thank you.
we appreciate you and your charity.
Sure.
Let's jump in. I will let you define what is ASC and what are you guys doing over at IBM?
So I'm super excited. We are here to announce the launch of what we call as ASC, Autonomous Security for Cloud. It's our generative AI-based product, which actually runs on AWS Bedrock. And
awesome.
It secures AWS workloads and applications that run in the cloud. And it's AI-driven, so it's autonomous. So that's where the name comes from, Autonomous Security for Cloud.
Oh, fantastic. And it's just now available. But surely you've been working with our teams. I think this is also the beautiful thing about our relationship as partners is our engineering teams get together frequently throughout the year to share best practices. New AWS features are coming or about to arrive, and IBM is here to really help dig in, even provide feedback too as well as we're developing these new features.
Right, you're so right. So we had this whole stealth mode operations for the last 1 year or so, where we worked very tightly with AWS to bring this to life. And it's built on AWS, it's built for AWS, and it works on AWS. So it's all in there. So I just think about it as we've used the large language models that run on AWS Bedrock. It uses the supporting technologies that are available on AWS Bedrock to learn from the client standards, compliance regulations, requirements, and policies, etc. And it kind of looks at all of that, and it infers all the security controls that need to be deployed on the end resources.
This is super exciting.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of customers that are either in the cloud looking to deploy new workloads, or maybe moving to the cloud for the first time, a migration like a lift and shift, or modernization or optimization of their cloud environment, their applications in the cloud, how do they know how to secure and what to secure, and what that landscape looks like? I mean,
if they're beholden to regulatory compliance X, Y, Z, I'm assuming that's where this really comes into play.
Right, it does. So you obviously provide that initial input on what compliance regulations that apply to that particular organization. You also provide it with the security standards, policies, etc. of the client. It takes in all of that. And, obviously, it does all of the things around it, like chunking and all the good stuff.
Are we talking like the PDF and the web pages?
It can take Excel sheets, PDFs. It can take whatever form you provide it in. Thankfully, the AWS environment allows us to take all of that information. OpenSearch does that. And then the output is an infrastructure as code script that can be deployed onto the end resource. And it works irrespective of whether it's a greenfield or a brownfield implementation.
This is exactly what I need when I cook at home. I need something like a bowl that I can just drop all of the ingredients in. I want a little bit of this, I want a little bit of that, and then done, and I have a cake.
Somebody is hungry. He's been streaming nonstop for a few hours.
Me.
Pro tip for anyone: you'll get a gold bullion if you bring Brian a taco. Anyone watching that's actually at the event?
Carne asada.
Bring Brian a taco. So Jayesh, how do you keep up with changes in configuration in the environment? In regards to the control, so the controls might change, the configuration may change.
Right.
The regulatory compliance probably doesn't change, right? There's still, you have to prove, and I'd love to move into a separate topic. Let's start there first.
So, so the solution also has a few, let's say, we've provided it with some eyes and ears and things like that. So it is able to read the AWS config, output to see what's changing, what's not no longer in compliance with what it inferred. And whenever it does this, it's continuously monitoring those systems. And when it identifies that there is change that is happening, it's not in line with what it is inferred, it can provide remediation content as well.
So not only does it come along and say, hey, like, you have these security controls within your environment, but it'll also say, hey, here's where you're out of compliance or your security posture may need some improvement. Here are things you can do. And then it takes it to the last step of saying, like, here's how you do it. I feel like we're getting to this place of AI security, AI possibly being able to manage some of the security of your estate.
Right. We actually want to get to that, which is AI SecOps. Right, so it kind of takes over all of that and does the grunt work around, defining the right set of controls, deploying them, fixing them, and doing all that stuff on an ongoing basis continuously, so that there's no drift.
You want to get there. That's
we want to get there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So right now it's doing a great job at creating all the infrastructure as code scripts. It's monitoring, it's devising the remediation controls. It's doing all of that nicely. Yes.
And how about any particular industries where they're highly regulated? Any examples you want to cite here?
Right.
I'm sure some folks are listening going, yes, I have that problem more generically, but anything more specific to a certain industry or two?
Right. So there are some industries which are more suitable in almost like financial services, healthcare, insurance, who are like perfect fits. We are already doing a couple of beta testing with some customers, and we are learning from that deployment work because it's giving us a lot of feedback around what the customers are looking for, how they would like to see it, and things like that. Yeah. Right.
And what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, there's such a continuing expansion of compliance out there, and I got dinged earlier for just firing off all of the compliance, the popular compliance bodies that are out there. But how do you stay on top of the compliance bodies that are growing in number and in depth and complexity that are out there? I mean, we've talked about the EU AI Act. We've talked about, I'm going to say HIPAA is not an acronym if I enunciate it. If I enunciate it, it's a word.
Like hippopotamus?
Like a hippopotamus.
I'll go ahead and let's feed one in for Brian.
Man.
There we go.
I can't get a break here.
You can't.
How do you stay on top of the growing world of compliance?
Right, and if I start naming them, probably we'll finish all
Go
of
for
those.
it. You know, it just feeds our gambling habits.
Right.
That's all.
So think about it this way, right? So we took a bunch of these compliance standards. We fed those in as a starting point. And the good part is, if tomorrow there's a new compliance standard or even a new customer security policy change, then that just goes into the chunking mechanism, and it is able to infer the modified or the updated controls that need to be in place.
Tell us the chunking mechanism. Is that the ingredient mixer
Exactly.
that Brian was
Why
talking
did you
about?
make eye contact with me when you said chunking? I just feel like food and tacos, man.
You kept talking about cake, and so maybe you thought we should chunk the whole thing.
I own that.
Right. So I mean, the easiest way I could explain this is, I'll probably borrow an analogy from my friend, is if you remember Sigourney Weaver's Alien movie.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Jay.
where you have the exoskeleton. Yeah, as the exoskeleton. So it provides, think of it as, the exoskeleton providing the superhuman capability to her to defeat the alien. Mm-hmm. But it needed her to think, her to guide, her to control, the exoskeleton. What we have here is Jarvis, which is controlling the Iron Man exoskeleton.
Wow.
Providing the inputs needed to fix things.
We moved movies.
We moved movies.
But I love them both. I love every part of that. That was such a great pivot.
Jarvis.
Jarvis is pretty cool.
Jarvis, who then becomes Vision. So I'm just going to nerd out. Yeah, like Vision.
But his little Vision Stone was kind of a bad thing.
Got like squished. It was really
squished.
Yeah, but, and for just to make sure there's context for the newer generation, is if they've not seen Alien, then maybe Avatar.
I like that.
If you haven't seen Alien, you need to put this in like a little picture-in-picture and go start Alien. Another one. So you got Ruba's Keynote, you got Security Live, you got Alien.
Right.
100%.
That sounds like a great day with a taco.
With a taco. Come on, everybody. Tacos.
No, now you need popcorn.
Tacos and popcorn and a cake? What are we doing here? Whatever it is, I like it.
Right.
So Jesh, I'm kind of curious. You've been on this journey, as you said, stealth mode kind of operations, and this happens frequently between AWS and IBM and our development efforts with joint solutions. I don't want to have you expose anything you're currently working on that you're not ready to talk about, but what have you learned about just the process of working with our engineering folks? And we've had Rohan Karmakar on the show earlier today as well, who runs the team of solution architects that typically works with you all to really get to the nuts and bolts of how all this fits together.
Right. So I think we basically, I don't know what we were smoking that day, but we came out with this brilliant idea of using AI to solve security problem, because the largest security problem today is misconfigurations, things that are not configured properly in the cloud. So we said, let's take generative AI, because that was new last year, and we said, how do we use it to solve a security problem that's in cloud today? And that's how this whole thing came around. And then we said, okay, now that we are done with this, we need some smart people to actually make this work. And that's where both the the SSAs from AWS side and our architects and the distinguished engineers from our side, they all kind of sat on it, and they kind of noodled the whole solution out, and it's been an evolution process since then. And we've been working very agile manner to kind of get this in place, and it's been a great way that we've kind of figured out how to work together and get things done. So I think kudos to the team.
I love that. I love that methodology of just the concept of like, hey, let's start with the customer needs, right? Like AWS, we have great customer signal to say customers are asking for these things, and then the answer is like, let's work with a partner to try to figure this out, and like let's just envision what a world could look like. And then you bring the engineers, you bring the architects, you bring the right people in, and they come in and they execute and they get it done. And then you actually have something that is customer obsessed, is working backwards, and like is visionary. I love that.
Well, I don't think we should lose sight also that at IBM, two very large companies, right? But still, we're able to move very quickly together. And I think that's truly like a testament to the partnership that we have. And you all are very well versed in regulatory compliance and the business risk impact here, right? So sometimes us security people, I'll call us guilty, we can get right to the speeds and feeds. And the percent detection or the percent false positive or the number of noise reduction or signal to noise reduction, but to a line of business owner, to a board, that may not really resonate with what kind of impact to their day-to-day operations or their overall business risk. I think folks like IBM are able to really translate that to the customer.
Right. So, I mean, just think about it. So, you have this great technology and system that's supporting business today. And we have, as IBM Consulting, we've been servicing the clients to help take the technology and do great stuff with it. So, putting these two together was, I think, the best thing that we did here because, we understand what the client is looking for. We understand how to make it palatable and how to make it absorbable to the client. And then kind of taking that technology and building on it is probably the win-win situation here. And I think it's just amazing. Like, we learned working backwards.
Oh, yes.
And the AWS team learned design thinking.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Can I hear more about design thinking?
So design thinking is our way of, it's our approach of how to come out with ideas, ideation, and then build out the concepts, and then kind of take it into what we call as IBM Garage sessions, where we identify customer problems that we need to solve, and then take it to scale after that.
Very interesting.
Is super interesting.
Right. So that was great. Yeah.
Jayesh, what does it look like in terms of an engagement with you all if someone was interested in autonomous security for cloud? I want to try it out. I want to see what it does for me. What does that engagement look like?
So that's a great point because today we do a try it out.
Okay.
A customer can come to us and say, I want to see it, and we can do a garage session with them wherein we solve one problem, a small problem, and then show them how we can scale it. And then once they have that confidence, they can scale it. The other way of doing that is, to say that, I want to see it first. So do a demo, do a proof of concept, and then take it forward. So I think both are available.
And is that a 24-hour timeline? Is that a 24-day timeline? What does that typically look like?
You know what? This is scary part, right? Once you input all the compliance requirements, the customer security policy, dump it into an S3 bucket, okay? The inference engine takes 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
That's kind of scary.
Scary,
and
right?
And still you'll know how far out of compliance you might be.
Exactly. Now, that is the speed. Now, obviously, we don't want it to become, using the movie analogies, Skynet.
There we go. Right? You said it, not me.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that there is human in the loop. Okay, so that there is some amount of a check, there is some verification of what's happening, and then so the pipeline actually stops. So it's all deployed as pipelines. So we use core pipelines, Amazon, service, and basically it stops and waits until somebody goes through line by line and says, I want to approve this control, not that, and so on. Okay. So now as it gets better, as we get better and better, we will automate it for customers. But initially, there will be human in the loop.
That's really interesting. I was thinking something just as you said it. Is would it recommend the usage of new either AWS security services or some other maybe third-party solution in order to stitch together where they may be out of compliance?
Yes. So it uses AWS services. It recommends what's missing. So it might say, hey, you have not enabled guard duty here.
Wow.
That's how it works. Yeah.
And this can be an easy way to become compliant in that particular area for that control.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Wow. Well, Jayesh, we're almost out of time. What's next for you at reInvent? What's coming up?
Oh, my God. It's an awesome energy here. 60,000 people. That's amazing. Love it. Yeah, I'm just going to go get some more swag and see how things work out.
Well, have fun in your swag hunt, sir. Jayesh from IBM.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back, folks.
Right. Thanks.